Good evening, Facebook, YouTube, Daily Motion, and Twitter. This is Rich again, back for your third and final video blog of the night for Friday, January 30th, 2015, around 8:21 p.m. in Berwick, Massachusetts. Some news to report. Former governor of Massachusetts, Mitt Romney, announced that he's not going to run for president again in 2016. The Canadian dollar is down to the equivalent of 78 cents U.S. money, and there's been rumors that Oklahoma City Thunder star Kevin Durant will be rumored to be going to New York next when his contract expires at the end of the 2015-2016 NBA season. And that's about it on the news. My third and final video blog subject of the night is my personality profile. Tonight's personality profile is about former WWE Intercontinental Champion Ahmed Johnson. Ahmed Johnson was the first African-American Intercontinental Champion in history. He was the first African-American to hold a singles title in the WWE. He was way over with the crowd during his time with the WWE in 1995 through 1997. Ahmed Johnson was born in Indiana under his real name of Anthony Norris, or better known as Tony Norris. He grew up in Florida and in Houston, and he had a rough childhood. His father abused his mother, and he would get abused by his father when he confronted him about the problems he had being with his mother. And Ahmed Johnson briefly went to Tennessee, the University of Tennessee. He played football there, but he left there. He briefly had a stint with the Dallas Cowboys. Then he joined the United States Army, but he was dismissed from the Army after getting into a confrontation with his captain and beating him up, calling him a coward. And then he went to train to become a professional wrestler, Tony Norris. He trained with the late great professional wrestling manager of World Class Championship Wrestling, Skandor Akbar, Scott Casey, and WWE Hall of Famer Polish Power Ivan Putski trained Tony Norris to be a wrestler. He made his wrestling debut in 1989, wrestling in several independent organizations, mainly in the southwestern part of the United States. He wrestled for Global in 1993 under the name of Mobad, and he was managed by General Skandor Akbar. And with talent scouts from the WWE looking at him, and they thought Mobad would have potential to become a WWE superstar. He was signed by then WWE Vice President of Talent, J.J. Dillon in 1995, and Ahmed went to the USWA to get some training done, and he became USWA champion for a brief period of time, being Jerry the King Lawler. And then they had promos of Ahmed Johnson making his debut in the WWE. These promos were decent, but Ahmed Johnson wasn't that great of a talker. They were decent, and then he made his debut, and the first time he appeared on WWE television, he slammed the 568-pound Yokozuna. And then he was in the wild card match at Survivor Series 1995 he teamed with Shawn Michaels and Psycho Sid and the British Bulldog Davey Boy Smith to face Owen Hart, Yokozuna, Razor Ramon, and Dean Douglas. And it was Ahmed Johnson who slammed Yokozuna to win the Survivor Series match. HBK and the British Bulldog also survived as well. Then Ahmed Johnson went into a feud with Dean Douglas. But this feud was brief because Dean Douglas left the WWE, and Ahmed Johnson wrestled a replacement for Dean Douglas, which was Nature Boy Buddy Landau, at Indian House in 1995. December 1995. Ahmed Johnson beat him easily. Then Ahmed Johnson started to have a feud with Jeff Jarrett, and they had a couple of months feud. Jeff Jarrett hit Ahmed Johnson into the guitar on the Royal Rumble 1996, causing disqualification. And also, after that, Ahmed Johnson went into a feud with the British Bulldog, Davey Du Bois Smith, and Owen Hart in various roles of a tag team match, 6-man tag, etc., etc. And Ahmed Johnson wrestled the British Bulldog, Davey Du Bois Smith, in an arm wrestling contest. Ahmed Johnson won, but he was attacked by Owen Hart afterward on Raw. And the crowd was so over they liked Ahmed Johnson. They thought he was so tough and stuff like that. He was real popular with the fans. But there was a problem. Ahmed Johnson was a little bit rough to work with. He was stiff, and a lot of wrestlers didn't really like working with him. He's feuded with the Bulldog and Owen Hart and Vader around 1996. Then he got into a feud with Goldust, who was the Intercontinental Champion. This feud started when Goldust tried to revive Ahmed Johnson after he was knocked out cold, and he gave him mouth-to-mouth resuscitation, and Ahmed Johnson hated it, and then he just went crazy. He attacked any wrestler he can, heels or faces, including he held a Bob Spot Block Pug Holly on this, and the match was set for Goldust against Ahmed Johnson at the WWE 1996 King of the Ring for the Intercontinental Championship. And Goldust was controlling most of the match, but Ahmed Johnson hit Goldust with the Pearl River Plunge. It was a modification powerbomb pile driver for the 1, 2, 3. Ahmed Johnson becomes the new Intercontinental Champion, first African American ever to win the Intercontinental title, and the fans go crazy. They were into Ahmed Johnson. He was so over with the crowd around this time, and he defended the title against Goldust and other wrestlers. There was talk that Ahmed Johnson, with all his popularity, was pegged for a WWE title reign some down the road, maybe 1997, 1998. But during a tag team match on Monday Night Raw in July of 1996, with Shawn Michaels against the Smoking Guns for the WWE Tag Team Championships, a new wrestler attacks Ahmed Johnson, Farouk Assar, who was Ron Simmons, and he attacks Ahmed Johnson, and a couple of weeks later, Ahmed Johnson suffers a legitimate kidney injury, and they say in the attack on Farouk Assad was caused him to miss the action. Ahmed Johnson won a battle royal on Monday Night Raw, but these Raws were taped weeks in advance, and Ahmed Johnson had kidney surgery around this time, and the announcers had to do voiceovers that Ahmed was in the battle royal, and he was supposed to get a shot at the WWE title against Shawn Michaels the night after SummerSlam, but that never happened, and Ahmed Johnson was out of action for 4 months. When he came back, he feuded with Farouk, who was part of the Nation of Domination, and this feud between the Nation of Domination and Ahmed Johnson lasted for 6 months. The promo work was pretty good, with Ahmed Johnson saying, "You're going down, you're going down, you're going down," and Ahmed feuded with Farouk and Crush and Savio Vega, who turned on him in a tag team match at Madison Square Garden on a house show. It was Ahmed Johnson and Savio Vega against Farouk and Crush, and Savio turned on him and joined the Nation of Domination. The feuds continued. They had a match at WrestleMania Feud 13, Ahmed Johnson and the Road Warriors against Farouk and Savio Vega and Crush. Chicago Street Fight was pretty good. Then Ahmed faced off against Farouk, Crush, and Savio Vega in a gauntlet match at In Your House, A Cold Day in Hell. Ahmed beats Crush and Savio easily, but he defeats Farouk, and then there was talk, and then Ahmed Johnson eventually turns on The Undertaker at on a tag team match on Monday Night Raw in June of 1997. It was Ahmed Johnson and The Undertaker against Farouk and the new member of the Nation of Domination, Kama Mustafa, and the announcers were speculating who was going to be the new member of the Nation of Domination. They were speculating about Mr. Hughes, Butch Reed, Abdullah the Butcher. Jim Ross was saying Junkyard Dog, but I don't think that was considered because the Junkyard Dog was out of wrestling back then. And then when Ahmed Johnson delivered the Pearl City Plunge to The Undertaker after the match, Ahmed Johnson wasn't tagged into the ring. Vince McMahon and Jim Ross said it was Ahmed Johnson who was the new member of Nation Domination, and he was shocked. But Ahmed Johnson was supposed to wrestle The Undertaker for the world title at In Your House Calgary Stampede, but that didn't happen because Ahmed Johnson was sidelined with another injury, and he wasn't part of the Nation of Domination for long. Farouk kicked him out after a while because of, politics, and there was, stuff that Ahmed Johnson was still over with the crowd. They didn't even buy him as a heel. And then Ahmed Johnson feuded with the Nation of Domination again, and Rocky Maivia, who replaced him. But this is when the WWE gave up on Ahmed Johnson and his push because he was still working stiff, plus injury prone. He wasn't on television too much from the fall of 1997 to the winter of 1998. Ahmed Johnson was released from the WWE around February 1998 because of too many injuries, plus he was still working very stiff. A lot of wrestlers did not want to feud with him, so Ahmed Johnson was released. Ahmed Johnson eventually popped up in WCW in 2000, but he was real big and overweight. He teamed with Stevie Ray, and they were feuding with Booker T over the name of Harlem Heat, and Ahmed Johnson was renamed Big T, and they had Big T and Stevie Ray had a manager, Jay Briggs, who was known in WWE as Clarence Mason. This feud with Big T and Stevie Ray against Booker T was crazy, stupid, and just Ahmed Johnson. Big T was, way well overweight, and he couldn't do anything too much in the ring. It was sad to see a guy, Ahmed Johnson, was so over with the crowd. A few years earlier, he could have been WWE champion, to be overweight in a meaningless tag team feud. It wasn't the best of times. Then afterwards, Ahmed Johnson stopped wrestling, got out of the wrestling business. He was in a couple of movies. He was in the movie with Too Legit, the MC Hammer life story, and he was also several years earlier in an episode of Walker, Texas Ranger. Ahmed Johnson retired from the wrestling business in 2003, and he's a wrestling trainer for Booker T and Stevie Ray's wrestling school in Houston, Texas. Ahmed Johnson was one of the top WWE stars in 1995, 1996. He could have been WWE champion if he stayed injury free and if he didn't work too stiff. A lot of people says Ahmed Johnson could have been WWE champion 1997, 1998. That would have been awesome. He was way over with the crowd, Ahmed Johnson, and stuff like that. And Vince should have gave him the WWE title. He was over with the crowd. I didn't like the heel stuff, him turning heel and joining the Nation of Domination. That wasn't good, and he only lasted a month there. And that's about it on Ahmed Johnson. And I'll be back, Facebook friends and YouTube followers and Daily Motion followers and Twitter followers tomorrow 3 more video blogs. First video blog will be about top 10 list of places that should host a future WrestleMania. Second video blog of the night, I'm going to talk about the ECHL, which is a double A of the National Hockey League. And third and final video blog of the night will be about the first African American Major League Baseball player, Jackie Roosevelt Robinson, which the late great Howard Cosell says that's the greatest American athlete of all time, is Jackie Roosevelt Robinson. And soon, very soon, Julie Broughton and Heidi Pratt's video blogs. Good night. See you tomorrow.